Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot think of a time that I've been more upset. We have Tommy Robinson, spokesperson, Kalen Robertson on with us. He just spoke to Tommy today. Uh, we are taping this right now while Owen is live on air, and we're going to air this later in the broadcast. I think the best thing I can do is just go right to Kalen to tell you what's happened. But Tommy has been given a death sentence. Here it is. Kalen, thank you for joining us here. Obviously, we're all rooting for you and Tommy reporting on the Islamic rape gangs, everything else that's happening. Seeing him as a political prisoner, and now the new news you told me just a few minutes ago on the phone shook me to my core. So please relay to the viewing and listening audience what happened.
Yeah, I'll let you know now. I don't have too long. I just have to pass on this information. So I spoke to Tommy within the hour. He was relaying this information. So we've just found out that he's actually been moved from the prison he was at to the new one where he's just been put within the last 48 hours. Where he was before was relatively safe. It had a very low Muslim population. He was in a specific ward that was safe. He was actually okay. We've just brought in a new legal team who's taking over the case, who's doing a really good job, and he's just been moved to a really actually unsafe place. As soon as he arrived at the entrance, someone told him or muttered to him that it was full of people here who didn't like him, which was really, really worrying. He was put onto the main wing, which is the central main sort of core of the prison, which is not a safe department. It's not a place in solitary. It's not a hospital wing. It's the main open season part of the prison, and that's where he's been put. We found the statistics of the prison. It's around 71% Muslim. Really, really, really disastrous. The last one was like close to 2%. And as soon as he arrived, he looked around and he could see people shouting, being really, really quite terrifying. He went to his cell and he said that all night people were shouting, banging on the cell doors, screaming death threats. He was really actually quite terrified about it. And he's just been relaying this information over in the last hour. So I don't have too much more to push from there, but we also had there's been a hit from an imam on him directly, which has been in the last 24 hours. I can't confirm if the imam is in that specific prison or if it's in one nearby. But that's something that happened to him last time he was in prison. So he's been basically put from what is a moderate situation to a really, really, really highly hostile situation. He's a much higher target now than he was when he was previously in prison because of publicity and because of, the rise of Islam. And it's basically gone into an extremely dangerous situation. He's really, really worried. Everyone's really worried. He wanted me to pass this out to you, to the public. He wanted everybody to know this. This is just passing it on directly from him. And that's all I can say about it.
Kalen, this is surreal, like something out of a fiction novel or something of the old Soviet Union, where it's known that a lot of people get killed in the prisons by Muslims. The guy that put a piece of bacon outside the mosque, as you know, got stabbed to death. They've said they're going to kill him in prison, and then now to take him, a nonviolent offender, for reporting that there was a trial of Muslim rape gangs. Other media reported it as well. To give him 13 months in jail, and then now to move him to a higher security prison. I know the lawyers don't want us to, obviously say the name of that, and that we've got all of this unfolding, and that he arrives at the new prison, and they're basically chanting in general population in a place with murderers and rapists and all sorts of horrible people. This is like the old biblical thing where they throw you to the lions. I mean, this is like taking somebody and cutting their legs up and throwing them into piranha-infested waters in the Amazon Delta, River Delta. I mean, this is insane. As a good personal friend of his, I know the guy he really trusts. I know you can't get much of the family, but how are you taking it? How is the family taking it? A, and B, why would they be taking a nonviolent political prisoner and throwing them into a 71% high security general population Muslim prison?
Well, we're really, really, really worried about it. It's the most devastating news possible. Things actually seem to be going okay. Looked like we'd be able to get him out early. Looked like we'd be able to actually have success with the case, and he was safe. He was feeling positive because of the protests, and it's just turned everything upside down for us. Obviously, it's terrifying. It's really, really the worst thing. I've worked with Tommy almost every day for the last 15 months, and it's really, it's a massively personal thing. It's terrifying. It's really horrible. Everybody who knows him and who knows his information now is equally as upset and disturbed by it. And yeah, so that's just what we're dealing with at the moment. What was your second question?
Why would they do this? Why would they want to make him a martyr when there's a very good chance he will be killed or physically harmed?
Well, I mean, it's to get rid of him. I think the protests have been heating up. We've had people climbing over the gates of Downing Street. We've had tens of thousands, 30,000 people the other day rioting and going nuts in the street because of him. And I believe they want to get rid of him. They don't want this to happen anymore. Oh, in the last hour, YouTube, I've just received a notification on my phone about 25 minutes ago saying that they've removed his video on YouTube that says, "I won't be around for much longer." It's a 2-minute video. It was the front page of his website. It's just been taken down permanently for, I don't know what reason it's for, and that's just disappeared. And it seems to be a bit of a coincidence. And it's all yeah, it's to get rid of him. And that was a video of him basically saying that the establishment's heating up to silence him forever and to basically kill him. And it starts with Twitter and it ends with this. So this looks like it looks like it's headed in that direction.
This is not a movie. I mean, my heart is actually, my heart actually just was beating hard in my breast. I mean, this could happen to you. It could happen to me. You've had the Antifa 10-to-1 attack you guys. You've seen the police on their side. You've seen the Islamists attack you guys, attack your vehicles, and all you're doing is exposing this militarized takeover. And now Tommy has had tens of thousands of people peacefully in the streets calling for his release as a journalist, as a citizen, as a hero. He should be, getting knighted if being knighted meant anything. He should be getting peace prizes if it meant anything. But no, instead of that, because he's a hero, it's the old saying, they're not sure, who said it. So who the author was unknown, but it was from the Revolutionary War here in the United States. In the middle of it, when they had big prison ships off the coast, starving family members of signers of the Declaration of Independence to death. And it said, when freedom fails, the best men rot in filthy jails. And those that cried, appease, appease, are hung by those they tried to please. And I mean, how is it for you? Because again, you told me earlier you just talked to him. You told me some other things that he said to you, and I don't want to be at liberty here with the things I wrote down when we talked earlier. And again, we're taping this, can air it as soon as possible on the syndicated broadcast. But I mean, can you tell us about his voice? I mean, because he's not a fearful guy. He'll take on 8, 9 guys bigger than him. He's not a big guy, but his heart's huge, and he'll fight back and kick their butt. He's got the heart of a lion here, obviously. Can you tell folks what the other stuff you told me?
Well, very briefly, I mean, the only thing I can say about it is this is sort of, after knowing him for so long and being in really hostile environments, being in no-go zones and things like that, the most extreme things, this would be the most worried and nervous that I've ever seen with him, ever. So it's something that's, yeah, I mean, I don't know if that sort of explains it.
Well, I know what's going through his head. He's not thinking about himself. He's thinking about his children. He's thinking about his wife. He's thinking about the fall of the UK. And I guarantee you, he's in there thinking, my God, it's worse than I thought. My own government's been captured. They put me in the middle of an Islamic high security prison with them chanting, we're going to kill you. 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 We're going to kill you tonight. That's what you told me he said. And you told me some other things he said. And I know, just as we talked 20 minutes ago before we taped this, that I mean, Tommy's told you that he wants you to go on air. So you've done what Tommy asked you to do.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of advice against it. There's a lot of things up against us right now, but and things for us and things for and against the right reasons. But against all of that, he wanted this information to come out personally, and that's why we did it. That's why we said against the advice, against that stuff. It's what he wants to do. That's it. He wants everybody to know what situation he's in. He wants everyone to know that if something happens to him, at least everyone knows the truth. That's at his core about what he's always been about. At least people know what's happening, and that's what he asked for.
Well, Kaylin, I've interviewed you many times, watched your amazing work, taking Tommy to the next level with your production, your skill, your courage, you and Miss Brown, everybody else. But I want to just say this. I don't know your background, your religious beliefs, but there are no atheists in foxholes. And I think we should really pray for discernment. Pray for Tommy Robinson's safety, for your safety, for his family's safety, for Lucy Brown's safety, and for the awakening to continue and put a hedge of protection up around Tommy. But Tommy has chosen, he said this, to die if he has to. And the fact that they took his video down that I think we have saved at the office. So let's try to, later when I'm live again, I'm going to play that message, probably tag it on the end of this tape thing we're doing when we air this live later. That powerful message of I won't be around much longer. Wow, the day they put him into a high security prison, 71% Muslim, and they're saying we're going to kill you, and the guards tell him you're not liked here. We don't like you. I don't like you either. I have the death sentence on 12 systems. Here, let me get you something. No, you'll be dead. I mean, that's what this is. And this is the arrogance of the despots to think that they can basically put him in there to be stabbed or killed or acid attacked in these prisons where, I mean, maybe I know you've got to go because you said you got the family and lawyers all calling you up to get off as soon as you just learned this 30 minutes ago or whatever. But can you speak to just the history so I don't get it wrong? There's so much of what he went through in prison, what's already happened to him.
Well, he's been put into a room directly with terrorists who are in the Class A prison that he was in a few years ago, specifically plotted against to blow him and the EDL up. He was locked in a room with them, with 4 of them for a few hours, who really, really badly beat him up, who tried to kill him, who he's been in a situation where he walked into a room and some Somali Muslim man had thrown boiling water with sugar in it in his direction, which is called napalm. It melts all your skin off. He's had so many attacks and so many close calls, been in hospitals countless times, stitched up, sabotaged, so many different things. There's pictures of it. That's basically the brief history of just skimming over what he's been through throughout UK prisons. And it stopped in 2014 when he got a bit of a bigger profile again. He started going on the internet. They seemed to kind of back down, and now it's just all going. It seems like it's all going through that process again. And he just got out of it last time, just by the skin of his teeth. And now, it's looking at the worst again. So that's what happened.
It just shows how far we've fallen, and he is such a champion for the family, regardless of all the incredible lawyer bills you've got. I know you guys have got new lawyers, and you guys have been trying to get him out. It's a big national issue. They've obviously made the decision just to kill him, hopefully thinking that'll make it go away. The tyrants are so insane, just like Hitler bombing London turned the Brits from being against war for war. These tyrants have a real blind spot to this. Caitlin, I know that the bills have been mounting. I know the legal defense has been insane. The family is basically cut off. How do people support Tommy? There's a lot of websites, a lot of groups out there claiming that they're actually getting donations, but I've talked to folks that they're not really doing that. How do people donate directly to Tommy, this champion, and his family, and to your film crew that's continuing on, that's so critical for his voice? They're trying to cut off right now, banning his video, saying I won't be here much longer.
Yep. So all funds going to the Legal Defence Fund right now, which we've just appointed a new legal team, which are going in, guns blazing, doing everything they can, pulling all the strings they can to speed the process up, especially what's happened in the last 48 hours. The costs are, as you can imagine, astronomical. But if you go to tommyrobinson.online/support or just tommyrobinson.online, then you can contribute and help to that in any way.
And again, that's tommyrobinson.online.
That's it.
Okay, Kaylin, again, we give Tommy a lot of praise, his family a lot of praise, but you've been there in the trenches, and I just want to recognize there's an Islamic globalist invasion of Europe. They admit it. They're banning police even reporting the rapes in Europe. Everybody knows what's happening, and you guys are the tip of the spear. Our hopes and our prayers are with you, but do you agree with me that we should all say a prayer for Tommy?
Oh, absolutely. He would say the same thing, but right now it seems like, and it feels like it's the only thing we can do.
Let me just ask this final thing. I know you got to go. What did Tommy say why he thinks they're doing this? Because tens of thousands are demonstrating, it's getting bigger. They think just snuff him out now, and that'll make the demonstrations go away. That won't make them go away. That'll make them even more out of control. They'll demand that the prime minister resign. They'll demand the Islamic, federal police head resign. They're going to demand. I mean, why are tyrants so arrogant? This blind spot.
Well, he said this throughout his, at least for the last 3 years, he's been constantly saying that this is because that they want to get rid of the opponent, because they want to get rid of the most dangerous person in Britain, because they want to get rid of a person who can, at the click of his fingers, galvanize tens of thousands of people on the street. There's no politician in Britain who can actually do that. Even the Prime Minister couldn't do something like that at an event, and it's really, really, really powerful and really scary for them. He's openly said that. He said that to me, and specifically on this case, what he said today was that he thinks this is a stitch-up. We asked him why they're doing it. Why would they move you to a different prison? What's the point? And he said it's a stitch-up. That's what he said. So it's all tied in.
And in British parlance or London talk, a stitch-up means a frame-up, a setup.
Yeah, that's what it means.
And you told me earlier a few other things, so I'm just going to say them. Tommy believes they're sending him there to be killed. He's going to be basically extrajudicially executed, like they used to do in the Tower, cutting your head off without even having an order. He's being sent to the gallows, ladies and gentlemen. At 5 o'clock, he's being taken to the gallows pole. The times and the sands of times for Tommy Robinson are running low. This is not a joke. It's not a drill. But think of the women raped every day and killed, the people stabbed to death, the acid attacks. This is part of the globalist attack on the West. It's part of their ruthless takeover. TommyRobinson.online. Everybody should donate there right now. We're going to post this video to INFOwars.com, to NewsWars.com as quick as we can. Again, this is taped. This is just so insane. I don't even know what to say. Thank you, Kaylin Robertson. Please try to join us again tomorrow as this unfolds. Please, as soon as you get authorization, I know you got to get off and talk to the lawyers and people, find out where all this is going. But thank you for speaking to us, sir.
Thanks for doing this. Thanks for getting out the word that Tommy wanted everyone to know.
Are you kidding? We're all in this together. My God, wild horses couldn't drag me away. Okay, I'm going to end the taping right here, and I'm going to say bye to you, Kaylin. Folks, I don't even know when this is airing during the show. I was about to fly out. They're banging on the door for us to check out of the hotel, flying back to the U.S. We'll have more as this unfolds, but this is going to be airing either at INFOwars.com or on the show. The show may be over by the time it's ready, so it may air on the War Room. But whatever you do, get this video out. They want Tommy Robinson silenced. They want Kaylin Robertson silenced. They want all these people silenced. They're silencing his videos where he talks about how they may kill him. This is incredible. So whatever you do, you are the Paul Reveres worldwide. Get this video out, because what they want to do is silence us one at a time. They can take out Tommy. They can take out INFOwars. They can take us all out. I'm Alex Jones with INFOwars.com and NewsWars.com. If you're watching this transmission, you are the resistance.